I'm Jane.
I'm Amanda.
Welcome
Welcome
to
to
Come
Come Dowse
Dowse
with
with
me.
me.
Daily, we'll see, possibly. Hi.
Hello.
Episode 9. Episode 9. And today we're talking about diary management. Yes.
Dowsing diary management. Try saying that.
Dowsing diary management. Yes, we're talking diary management, which a lot of people will probably think, well, it's like an everyday thing. You just sort, but actually you can use your pendulum or your rods. Dowsing for your diary management saves a lot of having to rearrange things, I've found. But yes, it's one of those things that we all put in appointments for and we all do this, but actually to save yourself a lot of hassle for things being moved, it's quite good to sort of dowse those things. So yes, we haven't changed tack. We are still talking dowsing, as always. It's all about the dowsing. So when
Yeah.
you make an appointment, Jane, do you dowse to see which day it goes in your diary?
Not always. And when I don't, it invariably gets cancelled. I need to learn from my experience that dowsing can have a benefit that can really help me. Yeah. Work-wise, because I am very boundaried about the days that I work, that's not normally too much of an issue. But I do double check if I've got a new client. I do dowse to see whether that date is a suitable date. And if I don't dowse, sometimes we find we have to change it, cancel it, move it, or something happens that means it doesn't go ahead. So I am getting more rounds to dowsing for that. But yeah, the rest of the time, when we decide when we're going to record the series of Come Dowse with Me, we dowse to
We do.
check the dates.
Get the diaries out. And I think if you've got your diary on a phone, that's when it becomes a bit more difficult because you don't actually have enough hands and things to. So, yeah, but I have a diary, I'm on the phone and I'm dowsing to say, yeah, is it this week? Is it this week? Which day? Or you might say, what about that Friday? And then we'll dowse and we'll say either get a yes or a no. And so it's sort of just being open to whatever the outcome is going to be. And yeah, that works. It works really well, doesn't it? We haven't had to change today. Today has
It
happened.
works. It always works for us. And I am
Yeah.
like you. I am still. I've got a file of facts. That's aging me.
That's from the yuppie era. I used to have a file of facts.
Well,
Executive.
executive. Mine's just pink. I don't think it's executive.
But it's easy to have your pages, isn't it? It's whether it's a calendar or a diary, yeah. But it's
Yeah.
easy to have your pages. So if you're on the phone, if I'm on the phone to the doctors and the doctors will say, "Oh, we've got an appointment at such and such," as they're telling me when the appointments are, I'm dowsing, and if I get a no, I'll say, "Oh, have you got another one? What's your next one?" Or I'm sort of, is it? Do I need one before then or after then? And then I'll sort of say, "Have you got anything after that?" Or I'll say, is that a good day? And if it's not a good day, I'll say, oh, I can't do anything that day. Have you got anything the following day? So, and then just check. Yeah, sort of just dowsing. It's asking those questions, isn't it? Is that the right time? And whether the date is right, but also if the time is right.
I think it's also reminding me a little bit of what we talked about in the last episode, almost with the planning with your diary about planning your holidays. So it is similar, but I think it's taking it that next step further. So you could even block off times when you want to have a lunch break, so when you work, particularly when you're working and you're doing client work, it can be really tempting to not put time off for yourself, or even booking time off for you time, some me time. I love doing that. I love writing on my diary, me time.
Oh, well, I book in duvet days. I try and do 2 a month. So, because I used to, when you were little, or when you were sort of teenager, and you have a duvet day, and it's just like, oh, I just want to loll. I feel sorry for myself because I'm not very well, but it was always when you were unwell. So I now we try and have 2 duvet days a month, and it's good to sort of a school holidays now. So it's like we can have a midweek duvet day. What? That's like big treat. Sofa bed out, films on, snacks, drinks, game on, and just have a proper chill day. Because you can run about so much that you just your system can't. So when it's like I douse that, and then like, do we need to do duvet day this week? Getting a no, probably because we've had one. And then do we need to do duvet day next week? And then yeah, you can sort of plan in that time for yourself. So it's like appointments, meeting with friends, and sometimes it's that. And it's knowing there's other things in amongst that, though, isn't there? Because some people say, do you want to come out with us? Oh, you should come out with us. You know, but if you don't want to, or it doesn't feel right at that time, you might want to 3 months down the line. But it's that thing, isn't it? If you start saying no to people, or you might not feel comfortable saying no, it's that thing, well, they'll probably just stop asking me, so I'll go, but I don't really want to. But that's not a good use of your time. So to Dowse, is this a good use of my time? Should have put my book up there. Where does time go? Pretend there's a book here. Where does time go? Don't read.
Also, I was just thinking, for me personally, because I have to manage and pace my time to support my health and well-being because of my chronic pain condition. For those people that don't know, I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia, and that can be really debilitating because it's about, you know, expending energy. So sometimes I will, and I love to fill my diary with so much stuff because I like to be busy, and sometimes I have to cancel things. And so what I will do is I will douse through the calendar and go, what needs to come out in order for me to maintain my well-being. So for me, well-being and diary management and dowsing all come as a real package. And I think that can be really empowering, because actually what I'm doing is I am looking after myself. So you have duvet days. Sometimes I just have I can't get out of bed day kind of thing. So it is a duvet day, but I sometimes force myself to do it. And actually what I need to do is look at my calendar and go, yeah, I'm a bit too busy. Stuff's a bit too full. What needs to go in order to maintain? And dowsing really helps, because again, it's that guilt thing, as you were talking about with friends, you know, you saying, oh, I don't really want to do it, but I'll go, because they might not ask again. Whereas I can just go, well, actually, what do I need to do that enriches my life and supports me? So dowsing is really important in that way, and I use it quite a lot.
Yeah, I used it. Last week we were going to the cinema, and so I dowsed to see which day. I dowsed to see which showing. I think there were 3 showings of the film, and we dowsed to see which showing to go to. And then and it worked out even better. These are like the hidden gems that you get. Even better, because I dowsed to see the day, and I dowsed to see the thing. And when I went in to book the tickets, they were only about £4 something, and that was for like the big comfy seats. So just for whatever it was that I dowsed, I'd managed to get, and I didn't. That wasn't my criteria. Get the cheap seats. I wanted comfy seats, and I managed to get them at like less than £5 each. And then I dowsed to see where we should be in the cinema. I mean, there's like 3 rows at the back that were the big, lovely comfies. And I dowsed, got our seats. When we got into the cinema had nobody in, apart from 2 people on the same row as us at the back, right down the other end. And then there was another couple in front of them. There was 2 people in front of them. So that in the whole cinema, there were 6 people. And I was like, thank you. This is the sort of cinema viewing I like. And we basically nearly had a private viewing of this film. But we were well enough away from everybody else for it just to be, it was an amazing experience. Lovely.
And I'm thinking that when I book concert tickets or theatre tickets, I dowse. So I dowse the performance. So again, it's linking back to that diary management again. But I dowse the performance, and I dowse for the seats that come up, because you know on like Ticketmaster it pops up with random seats, and so I'll dowse to see if are there any better seats available. And so that's really helpful, and I'm always really happy with the seats that I get. So yeah, I might do that with the cinema. I haven't been to the cinema for a long time. Do they still do popcorn?
Yes. and nachos with warm melted nacho cheese.
Ooh.
I think with the diaries as well, like for me, I'm self-employed and the same for you. So we're very much in charge of midweek as well. But for people that work full time, then it's, I mean, we work random hours around all sorts of things, but we've got that flexibility. But if you work certain hours, there's certain things that you can't actually change. So in your free time, whether it's evenings or weekends, to be able to dowse at the beginning of the month and say, what do I need to keep for myself this month? You'll sort of, it gives you an idea of what sort of month you're going to have ahead. Because if you've got a lot of where you need to have a lot of downtime, it could be that there's lots going on where you need to process things. But just to make sure that you've got restful time booked in, or that you know you're not going to overcommit yourself for that month. So beginning of each month, and then the beginning of each week as well. Because sometimes I look at my diary and I think, that's a bit, I've got things in that I need to do, not with clients, but with like all the background stuff, all the background stuff that goes with running your own business. And some of it is a bit like, and then I might dowse and go, do I have to do that this week? Can I move that to next week? Oh yes, I can move it to next week. And then the next week I'll look at it and I'll just do it. It's just that for whatever reason, something will have changed when I planned it in. And so it's like nothing's set in stone. So even when you've dowsed it and put it in there, if then you go, well, I said I was going to do that today and I dowsed it and I got a yes, I have to do it. If you're not feeling it, it just might be that something shifted. And so you can just dowse again and go, do I need to do this? Because things are changing energetically. Things change all the time, don't they? So I would just sort of, it's just cutting yourself a bit of slack, isn't it, as well?
And I think as well, you know, I do really admire your book, Where Does Time Go? Because actually it's really useful and you've got some really great tips in there to help manage time. And I think when you manage time and you dowse, you can actually give yourself more space to do the things that really enrich you, because actually it's the quality time. Because I think life is very good at running away with us. And, you know, I can quite easily lose complete hours and not knowing what I've done. Usually when I'm on that oh, I can't remember the name of it now. You know, the one with the dowsing charts. I lost a whole afternoon. Things with computers always seem to, you know, you think, oh, just pop on, particularly when you're self-employed, as you said, and you run your own business. You pop on, oh, just pop onto the computer and I'll just twiddle with the website. 3 hours later, you're still twiddling with the website, and it's kind of like
There's so many rabbit holes, isn't it? You get pulled down rabbit holes everywhere.
And I've always liked you're saying, you know, life minutes, and I've really taken that on board, because I think it's really important, because to manage your time effectively in whatever that looks like for you can be really empowering. And so, you know, using dowsing as well, I think, well, you know, great tools we've got, isn't it?
I know it's, and your life minutes. I mean, we all have. There's a saying that goes around on these Facebook things and whatnot, but it's about, we have so many minutes, and we're all given the same amount of time. It's what you do with them. If you're doing things that's not benefiting you, you can only sustain that for so long. But yeah, it's am I using my life minutes? Am I happy with the way that I'm using my life minutes? Is this a good use of my life minutes? And that's another question you can dowse. Is this a good use of my life minutes? And if you get a yes or a no. But yeah, the exercise in Where Does Time Go? It's a bit like when you go and do your shopping. If you haven't looked in your cupboards and done a stock take and looked in your fridge and your freezer and sort of think, right, where am I at? What do I need? You go shopping and you come back, and if you're anything like me, when you're shopping without a list, it's like, I actually haven't got anything for a full meal here. Got lots of snacks, but actually, where is the? So when you, it's a bit like with your own time. You can't start to make changes until you've done a stock take to see where you're at. So it's like saying, right, okay, it's a stock take. This is what I'm using my time for. What's going on in my diary? This is what I'm using my time for. Do I want to use it for that? Or do I want to trade it and use it for something else? And then when you work it out, and it's a very easy exercise to do. But I've done that exercise with people, and I managed a team of about 15 people, and I got them all to do the same thing at work. It's like, not for their personal time, but for their work time. Okay, what what's going on, where are you using your time. And it was a brilliant eye-opener exercise, as to what was, there was lots of hanging around waiting for the people, but then they realized, actually, I can be productive in that time, instead of, there's different things. I don't have to stand outside this person's door waiting for them to finish on a call before I get this. And so it was just a really good exercise. But yeah, diary management, it's just your diary, but it's your life. What goes in your diary is your life. So it's diary management, but it's life management as well, isn't it? It's managing, what am I doing with my life minutes. Yeah, I'm glad you reminded me about the life minutes. That was good.
Yeah, because it's about productivity, isn't it? And I think, the more productive you can be, the more rewarding things can be, because you kind of, I like to, if I've got something I've got to do, I like to have it planned. But like you said, it's really good when you can dowse it, and actually, is that important? Because the importance of something changes. Because once you've written it down, sometimes something's really, really important that you've got to do, but actually there are other strands that connect to that. And when it comes down to it, well, I don't need to do that anymore. And so, something that you've dowsed and put on your to-do list, it's like, I love how you move your to-do list up and down as well.
Yeah, I move that around. It's a flexible to-do list.
Yeah.
So then it takes the pressure off, because it doesn't have to be done right here, right now. But I like it when you get to the end of the day and you go and you sort of have a little reflection and go, that was a good use of my life minutes. That was a good day. And you feel like you've had a productive, good day. I don't know, lots of happy, if you get to the end of the day and it's like, well, what on earth went on then? It's like, what you've done, what you've achieved something. And I mean, I don't do a lot of goal setting and things like that, but I do have like just things that you want to do, and when you start to achieve them, it just happens naturally. It's not a forced thing.
No, it's great.
Life minutes, diary management. So I'm all for bring back the paper diary. Bring back the paper diary. But for people that can dowse on their phones and use their, I'm in awe, because I tried it and I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do the whole phone, look at the diary, look at the diary, look at the phone, even, yeah. So there's obviously some key to that. There's obviously some, because people do it.
I think for me, the whole thing of having my diary online is like, oh no, no, on so many levels. I am terrified of losing that information, and trusting technology in it, whereas I've got it written in my diary. And also, I find writing things down, I tend to remember them more.
Yeah, and it's that visual thing, isn't it? Yeah.
Maybe one day, Amanda, we may get into synchronizing our Outlook calendars.
That's the future right there. There's the future right there. Synchronized calendars. Oh my God. At the moment, it's neither a want nor a need, so I'm happy with paper. But yeah, the future right there. Which probably lots of people watching this probably going, I've been doing that for years. What are they on about? But yeah.
Progress.
So as always, let us know your comments. Do you use dowsing for your diary management? Tongue twister. Put a little comment. Let us know what you've been dowsing or trying to do or using your life minutes for, and it's a good use and you're happy with that use of your life minutes. Make them count, make them matter, and like and subscribe. I think that's us for this episode 9.
Well,
happy dowsing, everyone.
Happy dowsing.